Hey everyone, what I'm going to do today is installing some Puddle lights or shadow lights on a 2002 Mini that doesn't have them. The wife's 2004 convertible has Puddle lights already fitted in the doors, so to fit these it's nice and simple. You just have to pop out the ones that are already fitted, connect up the little bit of loom that comes with the light, connect the light and then pop it back in the door. Okay, so in the box you basically get a set of instructions, which I'm not going to need. You need two Puddle lights. Okay, with a little bit of wire which connects into the end of the light and then connects to the wire that's already in the car. But on the 2002 Mini we got, it doesn't have the lights here, so there's no wiring in the car. It's a complete install from beginning to end. So basically what happens, that sits in the bottom of the door trim, and when you open the door it shines out the Mini logo then on the floor. Obviously more noticeable in the dark. So on the 2004 Mini there's a little bit of wiring loom. The Puddle light was already in there, it was just a plain white light, so you just pop that out with a small screwdriver or some plastic flat blade to remove interior trim, unplug it, plug these two wires into the wiring harness that's already in the car, connect that one into the light, on comes the light, pop that back in the hole where the original light came from, job done. But on the 2002 Mini there's no wiring, so what I'm going to have to do, take the door trim off so I can run a wire then in from the car through the door loom, cut the bottom of the door trim to fit the light in. Okay, so you're going to need some wire. You need two colours. What I've done, I've tried to keep it as original as possible by getting the brown and yellow wire, which is the colour for the lightings inside the car, and some black wire then for the earth. So first thing to do, I'll take off the door trim on the driver's side and then start mounting the lights. Okay, door trim, nice and easy to remove. Got 4 torque screws which are T30s. Okay, on the door trim, one there, one at the top, one behind there, and then one behind the red reflector, so you'll pop that out. Also take off this plastic surround around the door handle, and then you just pop the door cover off. Okay, so I've popped off the rear reflector, as you can see then, the torque screw behind it, so just unscrew it. You surround around the handle, that just pops off, just held in by these little clips. And going around it, it's just a small flat plastic tool or a small screwdriver just to prise it off. And the same with the reflector. Okay, you've got 3 little holes, or 3 little clips that go into some holes around the top, so leave it out from the bottom. Nice and easy. Okay, so to remove the door trim, get a plastic tool like this. I always start at the corner on the outside here, just wedge it in and then just pop it off. It's just held on my poppers, so loosen them all around but not the top ones. Okay, catch the screws as they come out. Okay, you've got 2 small screws at the back end of the trim and 2 longer ones. That's the longer ones. They go in the front of the trim, and then the small ones, as you can see, go at the back behind the reflector and at the back hole. Okay, so just catch them as you pop the door trim off. Okay, so as you then pop off all around the side, the top stays attached. You just need to pull the top forward and then unhook it off the door lock button. Okay, so on the back of the door trim, okay, you can see all the ends, just these little poppers which just pop into holes around the door itself. Okay, but then at the top you got these like metal spring clips which fit into these holes. So like I said, you just need to pull it forward and over. Okay, and then the door trim is off. Okay, so underneath the car now, or underneath in the footwell, we have a light which comes on when you open the door. I'm hoping it goes off again when you close the door. And it should do, because it doesn't light up. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pop that light out and use the wire as the live feed to the Puddle lights. Feed it from behind, then up under the dash into the wiring loom here, so it comes into the door. Run it then to the lights, which I'll probably have to just pop it over here somewhere into the lights, because the lights can be mounted into the door trim rather than into the actual door. And then we need the earth then just to earth it. So the first thing I'm going to do is pop this light out from under here, get my brown wire, brown and yellow, and run it then into the door. Okay, so this is the light from the footwell, and basically this is what the Puddle light in the 2004 convertible we got looked like. Okay, slightly different plug on the end. Okay, but this one has got the same fitting as this light, so I can test this one out straight away by just plugging it into the actual loom of the car, like so. As you can see, it's all lit up. See, it's a bit light, so you can see it. There we go. That looks better now. It's in the dark. When you open the door, that'll be shining on the floor. Yeah, obviously it's daylight here, so you're not going to see it very well. I'm shining it on the pedals. There you go. So that's going to shine on the floor when you open the door. So all you need to do is get a bit further up into the loom for these wires. Just cut the brown and yellow wire. Join it then to my new piece, which I'll solder into the actual loom there. Run it through into the door, and then just got to cut the door trim to fit the light in. Okay, so door trim is off. Okay, you might be wondering I was on the driver's side earlier, but for some reason it didn't record the video, so this is now the passenger side. So same theory, just different door. So I got the door trim off. I've now popped out the light from under the footwell. Okay, the next thing I need to do is I'm going to take the speaker out. You don't need to, but I'm going to, just to give myself a bit more room in the speaker hole. So I want to get all the loom out from the door as well. Okay, and then there's an 8mm bolt here which holds on the loom into the door there. Okay, and pop out the grommet that comes through the door so I can feed the brown wire, the brown and yellow wire in from the car. Okay, so I'm going to remove those two items first, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so to remove this speaker, it's only 4 Phillips screws. Pull that, and then that connector there then just need to pull off. Okay, so you don't need to remove the speaker, but I'm going to, just to give myself better access into the grommet here to feed the wire through, to give me a bit more room, because you've got a nice hole here to cut out. I'm also going to just pop these little plastic tangs out, which is the loom on the other side of the door, because I'll need access to the loom to be able to get the wires I need. And then up in here, the loom goes just behind the window runner. It goes into the locking motor. Find the end of the loom, squeeze both ends, little pinch, and then it'll just slide off like that. And as you may have heard, the window just drops down as I disconnect it. There's another little plastic tang there, and then the loom is free to get out. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing, okay, is I'm going to be running, just going to cut into this bit of loom here, okay, just so I've got access to the wires. So I'm going to take off this loom tape, because I've got some anyway there, and I'll replace that myself. I can run the brown and yellow wire from the door through the original loom, and I need access into the brown wire, and I'm going to connect the black wire from the lights on, which is my earth. So all in the loom, and it's all nice and tidy, and even looks factory then if you like as well. Okay, so let's get this one off now. So like I said, it's an 8mm bolt. So put your socket on that. Can't do that left-handed. Just a little bit. Little fire field in it, wouldn't it? So it's nice and loose there now. Okay, so there you go, just a little bolt. Now, it pops out from the bolt end there, and then you just pull it towards you. It's got a little hook on the other side which just hooks behind the metal trim. So, as it probably doesn't get released very often, we need to give it a bit of a wiggle. There we go. Okay, now, what we'll also need to do is, as you can see, it doesn't come out with the door open. So you need to partly close the door to give it a bit more room, because it's got quite a big connector block on the end. And again, then you just got to keep wiggling it and opening the door a little bit more until you get it out, like so. There you go, and then you can open the door again then to free yourself. Okay, and then to disconnect it, this black plastic square here, you pull out towards you, like so, and the plug starts to come apart, and you then just pull it. Okay, so that will now give me, okay, you got all the little pins in there. So what I'm going to do, rather than try and damage any of that, I'm going to run the wire separate and just squash it through. So I'm going to pull this loom out from the door a little bit more to give me a bit more room once I open the door fully, and then I'm just going to wipe that grease off as well so I don't get it over everything. Okay, but here then I'm going to separate this out of its rubber grommet to get the wires through. Okay, it only just sits in there, so you just got to pull it out. Okay, but I'm just going to wipe my gloves and also don't get this grease that's on there over everything a minute. Okay, so I pop the grommet or the wiring loom down behind the door strap, give me a bit more room. Make sure you pop it back before you plug it back in. Okay, and then the plug, like I said, you just got to pull it out of the rubber boot. So I'm going to access then to run my wire through there into the door. Okay, now one thing I am going to do, okay, obviously you do everything your own way, but it's only a guide how I'm doing it. The brown and yellow wire is going to come through here. You could, if you wanted to, if you want to be really careful, drill a hole through that somewhere. Okay, which I'm not going to. I'm just going to keep the wire and just have the wire just wedged through really. But I'm going to cut the brown and yellow wire in half as it comes through and put a connector on there, so if I do ever need to take the door off or undo this loom, I can undo that one as well, rather than have a whole wire running through the door. Okay, so let's get this brown wire through the loom. Okay, so what I've done, I've taped the wire to a long screwdriver so I can push it through the rubber grommet that goes through on the inside of the car into the A-pillar there. Now it's a bit more difficult to see on the side. The drive side was a little bit easier, there wasn't as much wire in there. Okay, let's see. Okay, so by that, press the wrong button and cut you off. Right, so there's not as much room to see in here on the driver's side. Okay, but just behind this wiring, you might be able to see the loom. Okay, as it goes through the door pillar. I can't really get there. There it is. Okay, so you need the long screwdriver just to push through, to push the wire through the other side, and then you can pull it through then to get into the door. Okay, there's a bit more room on the driver's side. As you can see on the passenger side, the main harness of the car is in the way. So the loom you can see just behind the harness, that's where you got to get your wire through. So this should be fun. Okay, so just a little bit of force to push the screwdriver through. The screwdriver is now through. There it is. Hopefully it's got the wire still attached to it, which it feels like it does. So there you go. And I've got my wire through the door. So I'm just going to untape off the screwdriver and pull the screwdriver back. Okay, so my wire's pulled through. Okay, I've got most of it now in the car because I'm going to run as much as I need into the door and cut it out then from the car. So next thing to do now is to get this boot off the car. It just prizes out of the hole, so I can run the wire then through the boot into the door. Okay, and this is where having the speaker mode is easy. You can put your hand in there now on the other side of the boot. You just squash the boot so you can pop it out like that. There you go. Okay, so I can now get the wire in through it. So again, I'm going to need the screwdriver to be able to push the wire through to come out the other end so I can pull it through. Okay, so again, take the wire to the screwdriver. You can see in there. Push the screwdriver then in through the loom, and then you can just pull the boot back a little bit there. You can see the screwdriver just popping through, so just got to pull the wire through there, and the wire then is able to go through to the door. Okay, so fed the new brown and yellow wire in through the hole there with the grommet comes through, and we've got to come out from the speaker hole, which obviously it's not going to, but just enough to get to where I want it. So it needs to join the lights. I'll run with the normal loom down to about there, so that's enough. So there's a rough guide. Pull it out for the speaker hole, and it'll go to, pretty much the end of the hole as good as. There you go, you can see that. That should be plenty then. Because what I'm going to do, I'm going to just come into this loom here with it, put it in there, and just take off this loom tape and just replace the loom tape afterwards. We run the brown and yellow wire in with all these wires, so it's all nice and tidy, and it looks like a factory job then as well. Okay, and I'm going to cut this brown wire here and put a connector on there. So like I said, then if I ever do need to remove the door, for example, I can just pull this wire through, unconnect it. Otherwise, it's just one big long wire. You've got to cut it anyway. Then, if you need to, and just tuck in behind there into the hole as it all goes back in together. So let's take this loom apart. Okay, so the loom tape, it's only looking like a fabric tape, so you can cut it through it with a pair of scissors. What you need to be careful of though is the fabric, it does actually hold these little plastic clips in place as well. So put some electrical tape on that bit there that I've undone, so that stays in the correct position, so it'll always line up back with its hole where it pops into. And I'll just cut off the fabric tape there, and just that'll be where I put my new stuff, wind it around this one, take off the electrical tape afterwards. I'll do the same then with this one as well. Just take it back then and get through into the speaker hole somewhere. So this will just run free for a short distance until I can get it back into this main bit here. Okay, so what I've done now, pull the loom out through the speaker hole. Okay, so you can see my brown wire now comes in through here. Okay, and I'm going to run it in with loom splits here. In with this one, just put some new loom tape on, join it through there. Again, I've taped that connector into place so it doesn't move along to there, leaving it then when it comes out the door light. So remember this somewhere. So it'll be in between, roughly in between these two plastic connectors, roughly halfway through the door, because they're basically there and there. So the wire will come down here, which is roughly where the light's going to be. Okay, and then in this loom as well, while I'm here, that's the brown wire, which is the earth wire, which is the one I want. And that's where I'm going to connect the black wire from the puddle light to get my earth. I'm going to keep that one accessible as well. Okay, so here we go. Oops, you can see it. I've taped my wire, got some new loom tape on. Okay, so this is the wire I want. So you don't have to do it like this, but I'm doing it just to make it nice and tidy and it's safely done. So cut the loom tape there, because this is where I'm going to keep access to. And then once I put the black wire in, I'm just going to tidy up this end here, and bring the loom tape back down, then it can just meet in the middle somewhere. Okay, so here's my brown wire that I also want to cut into for the black earth wire. Okay, so before I solder those two joints in, okay, I can start putting everything else back to make it a bit tidier. So I'm going to cut this and put a connector on there, and put this loom back into the door. Okay, so again you need two hands, but either way just wedge it in there as you do. So so you can feed it through then from the speaker hole as well. As you can see, the wire does just dangle there. I mean, if you want to, you can just wrap it around the loom bit. There's nothing there, and it should be in the way. Okay, so grommets back in the door. This needs to thread in back behind here, but as you can see, the wire is stopping it. Another reason why you want to cut it, so you can get it back into position. Okay, just make sure as well, when you do run this wire, before you do tape it all up, you've got enough overhanging, because once it's taped up, you won't be able to thread it back through again. So it's always better to have a little bit extra and cut it off, rather than not enough and have to take it all apart and thread it through again. So I'm going to cut this wire, put a connector on there, and then plug this back in, and then all I've got to do then is cut into the brown and yellow wire on here, on this light, cut into the brown wire on here, and connect up the lights. Okay, so I put the connectors on, put a bit of loom tape around them as well, and I've just tucked them inside this hollow part here. So they've gone into the same hole as this. Okay, as you can see, I can't see them at all. If I do need to take this off, just undo the bolt again. Don't forget, be sure you tuck it in, slides into position. Pop the grommets back in through the door there. So that's all in nicely. Okay, I can now put the speaker back in. Okay, and the next bit to do then is to just splice into this brown wire, connect the wires I got for the lights, splice into the yellow and brown wire on there, solder them in, test to make sure it works, pull that together and wait for it to get dark so it looks nice. Okay, so I've spliced into the brown wire there now, put a little bit of black wire on there, measured it so it's the same length as my brown and yellow, strip the ends, because on the light it comes with its own little loom, which has got this connector on the end, which is fine if you've got the original lights in the door anyway, because you just plug them into your original switch, but I haven't got them, so I'm going to cut them off and just solder the two wires on. Just going to cut that end off here, solder the wires on to the brown and the black. But first, before I do that, because sometimes they are positive and negative and you've got to get them right, so I'm going to connect up the other end of the brown and yellow wire into the footwell light, and then just temporarily connect these up, make sure that it works properly before you do any soldering. Okay, so solder the wire into the brown and yellow wire on the footwell. Okay, just quickly put these together and it's on. So they're on the right way around. So just gotta solder those two together, solder that one, and put it all back together. I'm going to take these apart and put some heat shrink on there before I solder them. Okay, so solder the wires, put some heat shrink over these ones. Just a quick test again now, just to make sure it's still working. So if I lock the car, if I then unlock the car, yeah, you can just see it coming on. There you go, it's on. So it's still working. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap that there now and loom tape up to that bit. Just going to put some electrical wire over there, put everything back away, put the timer on and wait for it to become dark to see the end result. Okay, so now you need to cut the door panel for the light to go in. Okay, so there's a bit under here which you need to cut out, so just mark it somewhere central in the middle here. So I'm just going to use this light as a guide, just to mark around it, give you a guideline to cut through, then just jig a little bit so that it fits in nice and snug. Okay, so I've marked out around the light. Obviously this is the size for the whole light, which obviously I don't want because this obviously sits on there. So I'm going to cut out within that area, so the little tangs on the light, which will then just clip it in. So this is just my rough guide, just to cut out the centre of the section. Okay, so this is my initial cutout. As you can see, it's a bit rough and scabby, but it's within the markings I've shotgun, so I'm just going to try and fit, see what fits. None of it fits at the moment, which is good because it means I can always take more off, but I can't always put the others back on. So I just need to trim a bit of everywhere really. Just examine. I'm just going to go in there. You see it's needs a bit of trimming everywhere, apart from maybe the back end there, maybe just a little bit at the back. Let's trim a bit more off. Okay, so there you go, a bit more trimming and trial fitting, so now it fits in the hole quite nicely. Oop, that pops out. As you can see, it's within the lines, only just. Like I said, not exactly the tidiest job, I'll just tidy that, but not bad considering I use the Dremel. As I said, the main thing is though, it fits in. There you go, fits in there quite nicely. So just give it a bit of a wipe over now and a bit of a clean. Put it in. So time to fit it to the car. Okay, so as it's raining, it's only a really quick one, but here's the lights in the dark. There you go. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, subscribe, and see you in the next one.